Hello everyone. It's James again. And today, I want to talk about narcissistic abuse. In conjunction with the family court scam. And how this does nothing but damage the children produced in such relationships. And primes them to be brainwashed by all the mess and garbage of our society. Now, why am I talking about this today? Well, for one, this is near and dear to my heart. As I grew up with a narcissistic mother that scammed the system and used myself and my golden child brother as pawns and shields to do it. And this is a pattern I've seen happen in other people's lives as well. And countless others online. Story after story. Where parents use their children as pawns in the game just to get money as if they are some sort of winning lottery ticket. Also, I just watched a video called The Family Court Scam, uploaded by Red Pill Wisdom, that I think was from Man-Woman Myth some time ago. And I believe I watched it years ago as well. On Man-Woman Myth, which was basically a UK man that was interviewing people like Aaron Pizzi, and going through all kinds of data and information to find out where the breakdown is between men and women, and the unfair things that go on in the so-called justice system as a result. And then I came across an article the other day, where the singer Britney Spears was ordered to pay an increased amount in child support. Instead of $20,000 a month, now she has to pay Kevin Federline $100,000 a month. And I want to address all of these topics and what they mean for you, me, and society. And how this ties in with narcissistic abuse. As in my opinion, all of this mess we are going to talk about today is narcissistic abuse. Now, first, let's talk about the Britney Spears issue. First, I want to say, before both of you men and women hit the comment section, please, and I do mean please, watch and listen to this video all the way through. And don't listen to what you want to hear, or what you think you want to hear, but what is being said. Because topics like this can stir up emotions. And a great amount of people will start to comment about things that were never said in the video at all. So if you can watch this all the way through, then comment. I would appreciate it. Now, the issue with Britney and K-Fed is very rare. In that I mean, most of the time, the situation is in reverse. And there are reasons for this. But regardless, it appears that K-Fed is quite possibly doing what he's doing for the very same reasons why many women, not all, I want to stress that, but a great many women go for everything they can get and then some in such situations. And that's because they want money for themselves, not for the child. In the article I read, and you can find it by just Google searching that Britney was ordered to pay $100,000 a month in child support and it will come up. But the reason why K-Fed is asking for an increase is because he said he only earns about $3,000 a month. And Britney is making a lot of money from her Vegas shows, and is now worth over $56 million. And as a result, the life the children lead with him is a drastic difference to the life they lead with their mother Britney. However, Britney countered that to keep up with that, she pays the more expensive needs of the children, such as private school, their clothes, their electronics such as phones and whatnot, and all the other things a so-called rich or privileged child would have. But because family court doesn't care about that kind of thing, and they love it when they can take money from someone that has it and have it funneled through the court system, as all the state workers get paid and have jobs as a result of this stealing of wealth. And because of this, you will rarely see judges say, well, it appears this parent that is well-to-do is paying all of the expensive costs. Why does this other parent need more money? Nope. That doesn't happen. They just see money to take and they take it. Now, remember what I said in many videos I've made in the past? If they want to make things fair, Let people regardless of money take care of their fair share of what is needed both financially and emotionally with their children. Now of course if there is one parent that is more well-to-do than the other, let them take care of the private schools, clothes, and other things that will be easy for them to do. But they don't need to give money to the other parent to make that happen. All they would need to do is keep and provide receipts to the court for such things to prove they are keeping up with their responsibilities. Now if someone wants to sign an agreement because you are scared that rich man or rich woman will leave you one day for someone else, sign a reasonable agreement that says you get this, or you get that, whatever you and they deem to be fair, and for that agreement to be upheld in a court of law. The problem is, the state and the government don't want the people to govern themselves. Because I will tell you what, if such personal biblical person-to-person marriages and agreements were made, the state would have less authority in you and your family's life, which would mean more together homes, or at least a fighting chance to have a together home, which means less of a chance for the propaganda out there to work on your children, because they will be raised and reared properly and won't fall for the lies of this world. Also, it will create an environment where the narcissist will have a hard time not being exposed in such relationships. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, as I mentioned, this kind of thing with Britney is rare. And in that, I'm not saying male narcissists are rare at all. I think and believe, along with others in the narcissistic abuse community that are both women and men, that there are about the same amount of men as there are women narcissists. However, the rates and numbers of female narcissists are greatly underreported for a variety of reasons. But be that as it may, the reason why what you're seeing with Britney and Kevin, though it happens, is rare, is because narcissism, or no narcissism, the average woman, maybe not you, but the average woman wouldn't dare dream of dating or marrying a man that made the same or less than her, regardless if she works at a coffee stand, or she is the CEO of a major company. And the reason for this is not your regular hypergamy like many people like to say and think. And if you don't know what hypergamy is, it's the woman's need to secure the most highest valued mate she can for security reasons. But nowadays I don't think this is the complete truth, because I believe the social engineers have manipulated hypergamy to a great degree. I believe that the woman, no matter if she works at a coffee shop or she is a CEO, looks for a man that has more than she does is because she, maybe not you, but she and a great amount of women in our modern society know that most marriages, including her future one, will probably end in a divorce. And she knows if she marries or has children with a man that has less, she can end up like Britney Spears. Now if it makes you feel better to not look at it as a man and woman thing, but to look at it as a save the children thing, then great. Whatever works for you. But the reality is, in our society, it's so common we talk about this openly as if it were a joke. Think about it. It's rare to hear someone say, "Oh, he's going to take her for everything she's got." But it's completely normal to talk about that and say such sayings in the reverse. It's almost expected that a rich man will lose his money when dating or married to a woman that has very little. People even bet on such things by saying, "I give it 5 years, and she will leave him and take all he's got." But again, part of taking this person for all they've got is using the children like is being used in this case with Britney and Kevin Federline allegedly. Now is she a good mother? I have no idea. Is he a good father? I have no idea. And honestly neither does the courts. The courts have the information that is presented to them. The only people that know who's a good parent and who's not is God and them. And the children. But the big question is, why is this allowed to happen? And why is it allowed to happen a greater amount in the reverse, where the woman takes the man in family court for everything he's got using their children as pawns? This is where you will want to search YouTube and watch this video uploaded on the Red Pill Wisdom channel entitled The Family Court Scam. And in this you get an idea why what happens every single day is allowed and promoted to happen. And basically it comes down to corporate greed. I'm sure many of you have heard that 90% plus of all television, movies, and media is targeted towards women, right? Well, in this video you will see why. Because the advertisers know that 90% of such shopping mall spending comes from the women they are targeting with such TV shows, movies, and media. So what they want to do is transfer as much money from men as they can into the hands of as many women as possible. Because that means that same money will flow into the hands of many retail businesses as a result. And who loses? The children. Now let's talk narcissism and narcissistic abuse, and how this relates to what we are talking about today. Well, haven't we heard that narcissists use their prey or victims as mere tools and see them as objects to be used and then discarded? Well, isn't using a child in family court this very same thing? Now with that said, I think there are a great amount of women and men that are tooled and manipulated by the social engineering out there. And of the women that are in this group, I think there is a decent amount of them that would have in another time made a great mother, wife, and so on. But because they are hit on all sides with social engineering telling them to do all of these awful things, we are seeing children time after time drugged through the family court system by many of their so-called mothers, and in some rare instances their so-called fathers, and used just to get a check. And then when they are 18 and no more of use to this so-called parent, they are kicked out of the family home and discarded until this so-called parent needs them again for something else. Now what's interesting is, when Britney got hit with this increased amount to pay, there were many women that were upset, and stating what many of us believe, that it's all about money, and not about the children. But when a pro athlete, or a famous actor, or the Joe or Harry down the street gets taken for all they have and then some, you can read in the comment sections with woman after woman cheering and talking about they got their bag of money, and you go girl, and all of this horrible scary nonsense. But no thought of how the child is going to grow up and figure this stuff out, and learn he or she was prevented from having a relationship with their father over a lie, and how they were just used as a bag of money. Now if that isn't narcissistic abuse, I don't know what is. And the damage emotionally that will do to any boy or girl is enormous, and it will leave scars that will last for their entire life, realizing they were used just for money and they were never really loved by anyone. Let that sink in a minute. I know. I've felt that feeling personally, and I don't wish it on anyone. And that's why I'm so passionate about such things. Well, that's all well and good, James. But what do we do about it? You talk about it. And you talk about it a lot. You ask the tough questions. Why are we allowing our children to be used and abused at the hands of the family court system via their parents, when everything is supposed to be about saving the children, or helping the children? Well, let's make that a real thing, by seeing this abuse for what it really is. I encourage everyone, especially the women, to start a hashtag movement for such things as reforming child support and alimony, or hashtag make family court fair. And I encourage you to do this because it's something that is needed. But I also encourage especially the women to do such a thing, because I want you to see how many women will try to fight against you to stop this positive change that might not give them a lottery ticket anymore, but in reality will be something better in the long run for the children. And then you will see the narcissists, or those under the spell of this narcissistic society, reveal themselves for who and what they really are. And I think you will be shocked on how many fight against you, and how little people will support you. Now, I could be wrong. But that's been my experience when talking about such issues. But with that said, we still need to speak up for what's right. Because our children deserve better. They really do. Well, that's all I have for now. I do hope you had a blessed day. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.